RedZone weather in Brewton, Alabama, with meteorologist Spinks Megginson. A severe weather update starts right now.
An enhanced risk of severe weather setting up for Wednesday across parts of the Deep South, including parts of our local area in South Alabama and Northwest Florida. We've got all the details for you on this coming up, but let's talk about today first, because across the local area we will have general dreariness, more of the same, what we've been having. These low clouds going to continue to be in place across the local area. Highs around 70 today. Can't completely rule out a few showers, areas of sprinkles across the region today, and we will be watching this system developing to our west on this Tuesday. We'll have a line of strong to severe storms coming together across parts of Texas and Arkansas, pushing into Louisiana as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. There is a significant severe weather risk today across parts of East Texas, Louisiana, extending back into Mississippi as this same system that's going to ultimately cross our area crosses those areas today. Now, let's look at the convective outlook, because again, this is valid for today. East Texas, Louisiana into Mississippi, a level 3 out of 5 enhanced severe weather risk. Could have a few strong tornadoes near places like Alexandria, Louisiana, Ruston, Shreveport, back over to Monroe, Louisiana. This whole part of the Deep South involved in a level 3 out of 5 risk. That also includes places in East Texas, as well as Jackson, Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, all involved in that higher risk. So just be aware if you're traveling westbound on Interstate 20, maybe Interstate 10, there is a considerable risk of severe weather today in that part of the world. Now, tomorrow, the whole system shifts to the east, and it does look like we will have a few strong tornadoes in parts of eastern Louisiana, southeast Mississippi, maybe even southwest Alabama and northwest Florida. And that's why the Storm Prediction Center overnight upgraded this area into the level 3 out of 5 severe weather risk, meaning scattered severe storms will be likely, including the potential for a few intense storms that may be long lasting. And this is why we had the upgrade. Again, it's a significant tornado risk that has come on the board in place for Baton Rouge, New Orleans, back over to Hattiesburg in southeast Mississippi. And locally, this does include parts of Mobile, Baldwin, Escambia, Santa Rosa counties, in addition to Escambia County, Alabama, Conecuh, Monroe, Clark, Washington, Choctaw, Marengo counties, all involved in this significant tornado risk. And keep in mind, this is fairly uncommon, and so this may end up being one of our more significant severe weather events of 2022. Have a way to get those warnings tomorrow into tomorrow night. Here's how it may play out. This is on the projected radar off of the 3-kilometer North American model. And by the time we get to Wednesday afternoon, that's when I expect the atmosphere to begin destabilizing across our local area. Line of storms setting up back across Mississippi. Out ahead of that, we could have discrete isolated cells that could be producing tornadoes. So not only are we talking about the risk of tornadoes in the main line of what could be a line of supercell storms crossing our region, but out ahead of that, we may actually have more in the way of thunderstorms that become isolated and discrete in nature and produce tornadoes. So bottom line, have a way to get the warnings, especially Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, and extending into Wednesday night. It's a level 3 risk day, fairly uncommon for our part of the world. And again, the local view shows this pretty well. Basically, the western half of our local area is involved in this higher level 3 risk. And keep in mind, even if you're in the yellow zone, the level 2 out of 5 risk, that is, still a fairly big deal. And so we want everyone, regardless of which color or number zone you're in, to have a way to get warnings tomorrow into tomorrow night. Here's how the breakdown of the risks in the zones. And again, this is driven by a significant tornado risk along with the risk of damaging straight line winds, just as high as that tornado risk tomorrow night. Could have some flash flooding, power outages possible if we get damaging straight line winds across the region, which is a likelihood at this point. And it does look like we will have a good bit of lightning, not really expecting a large hail risk with this system. By the way, on Thursday, the whole system shifts to the east. There is a level 2 out of 5 risk in place for the Florida Peninsula, extending back into southern Georgia. 2 to 3 inches of rain likely with this system across the deep south. Greater rain amounts probably going to happen to our north, but across the local area, probably going to have about 2 inches of rain, maybe even slightly higher than that in total across the region with this passing system. Highs out there today going to be near 70 in most spots across the region. And we are seeing signs that we could have a significant cold air outbreak across much of the eastern half of the continental United States as we get into next week. There that is, and look at that. It's not often that you see these darker shades of blue in our 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. This means that Christmas Eve and Christmas Day have the potential to be quite cold. And when I say quite cold, I'm talking potentially highs in the 40s as far south as our local area. Now that's one model indication. We'll have to see if that comes to fruition in the days ahead, but nonetheless, model suggestions point to a very cold Christmas across much of the eastern half of the continental United States. Here's your next 7 days. Much colder temperatures on the way after the passage of that cold front on Thursday morning. Highs in the 60s on Thursday, but look at this. Highs in the 50s for the weekend. Overnight lows down around the freezing mark, potentially for some communities north of Highway 84 on Saturday morning. Really cold in here this weekend, but the good news is we will get some sunshine before we get our next chance of rain on Sunday into Monday. I'll have much more about the severe weather risk in the RedZone Weather app in the hours ahead. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions or comments below, and I'll try to get to those in just a little bit. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday.
Be sure to find us across social media, and don't forget to download the free RedZone Weather app and set up your customized alerts. Please support our RedZone weather sponsors who make our coverage possible every single day.